You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
This is a big weekend for Austin Simmons. It is. He's undoubtedly the QB1. There's nothing that can happen that could drop him down to the second quarterback or anything like that. But this is a big weekend if you look at the big picture for Ole Miss football. Whether people that have questions about him being able to run a team, whether him building chemistry, the questions about that are going around. Whether he can handle an SEC slate, it all starts to work out right now in the second scrimmage. And this is the most important scrimmage of all of fall camp. This is the scrimmage that is the equivalent to the second preseason game of the NFL, where the starters play 2 or 3 quarters, to where you're going to get your best look. They're going to try to make as much of a game simulation as possible. We theorized and speculated over the course of Monday that Lane Kiffin was scripting a harder environment for Austin Simmons in the first scrimmage. Now's the time where you start building confidence. Now is the time where it gets important for Austin to go. Listen, Austin Simmons, he doesn't have many snaps, but when he's played, he has looked really good. There's no getting around that. He was 19 of 32, 282 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. He looked better in the first, his series against the Georgia Bulldogs that kind of developed all the buzz around this young player. He looked better than Arch Manning did. He looked better than a lot of quarterbacks that went against the Georgia Bulldogs defense. Georgia may not have looked like they normally do, but they still looked pretty good. Austin Simmons has spent time this season trying to build chemistry on his roster, whether it's the so-called starting wide receivers of Deshaun Stribling, Caden Lee, or Harrison Willis, whether it's the next level receivers. Deuce Alexander has made play after play after play this fall camp. Isaiah Hartrop has made plays and what is one of the stories of this fall camp. When he was at, I guess it was Southeast Missouri, 51 catches, 706 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He is the leader in the clubhouse to be the punt returner. I expect to see these guys on the field in the first game, honestly. Traylon Ray, the wide receiver transfer out of West Virginia. Those are the ones that are at the top of the list. And then you've got the freshman stalwarts that are coming through, whether it's Caleb Cunningham, which I expect him at some point to get on the field this year, maybe not at the very beginning. Winston Watkins, who I do expect to be on the field relatively early. And then you have Dylan Alford, who has had a really good, smooth camp. Samari Reed, who looks really decent as an outside wide receiver. The point is, there's a lot of weapons at the disposal of this quarterback. And whether it is those wide receivers or the running back room going down to Shakai Mills-Knight or Kewan Lacey or Logan Diggs or Damian Taylor, there are weapons all over this offense. How you use them is where this scrimmage gets decided and how this scrimmage gets its importance. Just like the next 2 practices, Thursday and Friday, you need to have a good day. You want to have a good day. You want the chemistry to get there because the second game of the season is a road game at the Kentucky Wildcats. The third game this season is a home game against the Arkansas Razorbacks. The fourth game is a home game against the Tulane Green Wave. The fourth game is a home game against the LSU Tigers. You get my point. Last year, there were some games that were interesting for Ole Miss. You want it to make it to the finish line through those 4 games for the Ole Miss Rebels. This year, it's a little bit different when you look at their schedule. They start off with Georgia State. We all expect that to go as we expect it to go. And you can see my prediction on the screen here right now. Like I said, at Kentucky, Arkansas, Tulane, LSU, Washington State. I do not expect Washington State to be what they were a year ago, but they still will be a team that is good enough to be a Power 5 team. They're still acting like that. Then it's at Georgia, at Oklahoma, it's South Carolina at home, the Citadel at home, Florida at home, at Mississippi State. 9 games inside the state of Mississippi. One of the road games, the true road games, at Kentucky. And then you had that 2-game stretch of against Georgia and Oklahoma. And I'm kind of looking forward to seeing exactly what that Oklahoma game will look like. This all begins right here. That is what the next 4 days is going to tell the story of that season. If this team is able to hit that 10-2 mark, will be determined over the next week or so. The physicality, the work ethic. Lane Kiffin talked about at the beginning of fall camp that he wanted a workman-like approach going in. And this is going to be developed over the next week. The next week is the most important week of practice going into a season. It is right before camp breaks, before all the distractions of school happen. Before that happens, the last little bit that you have together is absolutely huge. And this is massive for Austin Simmons. All of the stuff, chemistry, SEC slate, running a team, developing confidence, all of that stuff is going to be decided over the next week. And if he can do it, which I think he will, this Ole Miss football team can be pretty good, honestly, if you were going to ask me about that. Anyway, coming up in our final segment, Lane Kiffin shouted out a few freshmen in Monday's press conference, but don't expect too much playing time from them. I'll explain why next. As the summer winds down, there's something nice about getting into a routine that you love, and Wayfair makes it easy to set yourself up for the season ahead. From bedding and linens to storage solutions for every room, Wayfair is a one-stop shop to refresh your home. I recently grabbed a recliner from Wayfair because of my surgery, and now it has been the perfect addition to my living room furniture and my home, in fact. Even after this, I still use it, and it has become absolutely indispensable. Those recliners can be absolutely perfect and game-changing for you. This is the perfect time to get your home ready, whether it's organization or upgrading a workspace or making weeknight dinners easier. Get organized, refreshed, and back to a routine for way less. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop for all things home. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for bold prediction and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on the NFL season predictions, whether you're calling for the MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner to crown your Super Bowl champion before week 1. It all kicks off this weekend. So take a flyer on the MVP race. I'm going with Jaden Daniels, seriously. Or maybe you can crown a champion in August. I like Buffalo. I think this is their year. Or parlay your division winner dark horses. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning for your future bets now, because Future Day is just one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. Thank you for making Locked On Ole Miss your go-to source for Ole Miss sports. We pride ourselves in offering the most comprehensive perspectives. It's why we're the front door of Ole Miss. If you don't believe me, Google Ole Miss Podcast. We're like 80% of that page. So don't forget to subscribe, like, or comment. On the podcast apps, if you do that, subscribe to the podcast side. Leave a 5-star review. It all helps the show out, and it's completely free. Your support means the world to us. If you want a little bit more, our Insiders program, the link to join is down below, a 14-day free trial and the easiest cancellation ever. For your second listen, check out the Portal Show. Brian Smith has the latest rumors, portal entries, and signings. Be the most informed fan on the rapid changes to college football's landscape. Find the Portal on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. Hotty toddy, everybody. And remember, Analytics is just the old English word that means bad football. We'll see you tomorrow.